Hello, this is Shambhavi. Welcome to Satsang. Satsang is an ancient spiritual practice from India. It means being in reality together. I give Satsang live every Wednesday and Sunday night in Portland, Maine. This Dharma talk was recorded during one of our Wednesday night gatherings. Please visit jayakula.org to learn more about the teachings. You can find video satsangs on Jayakula's YouTube channel, and my books are all available on Amazon.com. Much love to you, wherever and however you are. So there's a fellow named Utpaladeva. He lived in the 10th century, and he was the disciple of another fellow named Somananda. And together, Somananda and his disciple Utpaladeva founded, or perhaps just wrote down, I'm not sure which, what's called the Pratyabhijna school of Shaivism, the recognition school or the self-recognition school. And they wrote really beautiful treatises about self-recognition, the process of it's really re-recognizing what is sometimes called your original face or your essence nature. And Utpaladeva in particular was a great devotee of Lord Shiva in the sense that he was really a bhakta. And in addition to writing, kind of heavy-going tracts about pratyabhijna, about self-recognition, which are actually quite devotional themselves. He also wrote just a lot of devotional, what are poems or songs, from his own experience. And I always think that the proverbial, what one book would you take to a desert island? I think I would take some of Utpaladeva's writings. They're some of the most beautiful devotional writings I've ever encountered. And also, I very much identify or feel simpatico with Utpaladeva, because his form of devotion was that he wanted to remain the servant of Lord Shiva, even beyond actually having self-realization or liberation. He wanted to be just remaining as the servant of Lord Shiva. So this is something that he wrote that's actually in the beginning of my new book. This is from the Shiva Stotra Vali, which is his great spiritual devotional writings, a book of those writings. You almost get the feeling that it's kind of his spiritual diary. I don't think he wrote it all in one go. He didn't mean it to be a book. He probably wrote different poems at different times, and then it got put together into a book. But anyway, this is from that. My wish is to be neither an ascetic, indifferent to the world, nor a manipulator of supernatural powers, nor even a worshipper craving liberation, but only to become drunk on the abundant wine of devotion. You want me to read it one more time? Mm-hmm. Okay. My wish is to be neither an ascetic, indifferent to the world, nor a manipulator of supernatural powers, nor even a worshipper craving liberation, but only to become drunk on the abundant wine of devotion. What does that mean, really? Is it really somehow a servant position that is, below, for instance, someone who realizes like a yogi and takes a light body, or some great ascetic character, as Utpaladeva mentions? Well, devotion is really, as I was saying the other day, the crucible or the container for all other wisdoms. It's really devotion that is organizing all of the other virtues, like clarity and compassion. I mean, those things, without devotion, there's no way to make a connection to anything. And as I was saying the other day, everything that's happening here, everything, including the hard stuff, is an act of devotion, or has this devotional quality that is really, I think, more fundamental to reality than many of the other things that we talk about, like compassion. We could say that kindness is a kind of handmaid into devotion. I don't know if I want to put my money down on this for all time, but it just occurred to me that kindness is a very simple feeling of wishing the well-being of everybody, or at least somebody. You know, I guess before you get to the everybody, you can get to somebody. True kindness is a very deep desire for the well-being of everybody, and it doesn't look like what we think kindness looks like all the time, right? I've told the story a bunch of times before about one of my former teachers was in India with a group of students, and they were in a train station, and somebody got hit by a train and was lying bleeding with their head half cracked open, and it was clear this person wasn't going to make it. And everyone was sort of wondering what to do for this person, and then some old man came along with a stick and jumped down into the train tracks and just bashed this guy in the head and killed him. That's kindness. I always wished I could be that kind, as to have the courage to do that. And then one day I had the opportunity and I failed utterly. I was in Varanasi, and there was a dog that had been hit by a car or something. I didn't actually see it get hit, but it was hit by something, and its two back legs were broken. And so dogs are really the lowest of the low. In India, calling someone a dog is like the worst. So nobody helped the dog, and it just was in the road for days, starving and dying. And I didn't have the courage to kill it. So there you have it. Kindness is that wish for the well-being of everyone, or at least somebody, that when it's in its most fully flowered form, it also requires a lot of courage. It's easy to do certain things that express kindness, but there are some really, really hard things that one might have to do in order to be kind. Right? I hope that the next time this happens, I have the courage to be that kind. I don't know when that was. It was probably about 8 or 9 years ago. I hope that I've increased in courage and kindness, that the next time I come across a suffering being like that, I will do what needs to be done. In any case, so devotion is that feeling that is just exploded beyond any normal idea of kindness. That just feeling of not just wanting to be kind or for the well-being of others, but to just be in service to everything. And when I was a little kid, I had this feeling. I didn't know what it was, and I didn't grow up in a spiritual household, so I had no words for these things. But what I used to feel was that I just wanted to give away everything. I just felt everything that I wanted to give away. And I felt very frustrated and somewhat upset because my environment, I thought at the time, didn't allow me to do that. I felt that the things that I wanted to give, the things that I had to give, were not called for in the environment that I was in. Of course, that was dead wrong, because that was just a very limited idea. Of course, one can give one's all in any environment. You don't need any special conditions, but I didn't learn that until later. To me, that was an expression of how I would eventually feel and what I could eventually identify as devotion. Right? That feeling of just wanting to give everything away to others. And that's what this world, this reality is doing in every moment, in every situation. Everything is being given in full, all the time, everywhere, without exception. And of course, the biggest proof of that is that we actually have a world. Everything that's here has been given to us. including our bodies and our minds and our energy and everywhere we live and all the planets and universes. That's giving one's all, really. And even now I could really barely begin to express why that idea captivates me still so much. And I am extremely grateful that now I'm doing what I'm doing and have learned how to give everything, or maybe just about everything, I don't know. Probably holding something back. I do feel like this, being a practitioner, I don't mean being a teacher, I mean being a practitioner, has asked from me everything I could possibly give. When you're really in this, there's nothing that's left out. And that's what I always asked for, and that's why I've said before, I've gotten everything I've ever wanted. So there's something about that, something very mysterious and alchemical in it that is that feeling and that having the opportunity to give everything away, not in a dumb way. I don't mean like empty out your bank account. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean everything that you are, all your best, your energy, your intelligence, your insight, your love, your compassion, just being able to give it away. Why is that the greatest thing? You think, oh no, I won't have anything left, or I'll be tired. One of the things I really enjoy is continuing to give my all when I'm really exhausted. I just get so much enjoyment out of that. It's hard to say why, right? It's just very mysterious. But the feeling of just emptying out, you're continually refilled, and you're continually emptying and continually refilling. It's just the greatest joy anyone can ever experience, as far as I'm concerned. So I just have that feeling, same feeling as Utpaladeva, that to be the servant of everyone is the most wonderful possible circumstance that could occur to anybody. And of course we denigrate servants in this culture. I mean, they denigrated servants in Indian culture too. That's not just here. To truly be able to express oneself in a state of total giving, even in the most challenging situations, there just isn't any greater joy. So I've been thinking about how I've always felt uncomfortable with giving classes. But I've never figured out any other way to give the teachings to people. So I've started rereading Utpaladeva after a while because of the book that I'm writing, and it just reminded me of something. So now I feel like I'm back on the hunt for a different way to give teachings other than having classes. I don't know if I'll ever succeed at that, but something that just feels more organic, right? More like the fountain, right? I don't mean Ayn Rand. There's a fountain at the heart of reality. There's a fountain on the top of each of your heads. There's a fountain in your heart. That fountain. Right? So a lot of us are very self-involved. Understatement of the century. We think our problems are going to be solved by fixing something about us. It's not. It's solved by giving. It's solved by serving. It's solved by not wanting to keep anything for yourself. That's what it's solved by, all your anxiety. And then when you're spending your life giving what you have to give, everything that you have to give, then when you come upon hard times, or times when you don't feel good about something or another, then it's another opportunity to pry open those floodgates again and go deeper, right? And become more of a fountain. Right? You don't have to close up and try to keep stuff for yourself. The answer is always in opening. It's never in closing. So what if you just didn't think about yourself so much? How would that be? Might be pretty rewarding, because whatever it is you're trying to get is not the thing that's going to make you happy. It's not the thing that's going to solve the anxiety that you have about your existence. The only thing that's going to solve the anxiety that you have about your existence is giving. It's the rock bottom truth of our lives. I'm going to stop there. Jayakula is a nonprofit community offering opportunities to learn and practice in the direct realization traditions of Trika Shaivism and Dzogchen. We are based in Portland, Maine and Portland, Oregon. Visit jayakula.org to explore more of our offerings.